As far as striking goes, and it's quite interesting because obviously I've done the breakdown show and I saw a couple of the comments saying, oh, how can Masvidal be a better striker than Covington when Masvidal got knocked out by Usman and Covington didn't? And my answer to those people is not every fight is as straightforward and as simple as that. You know, the reason why Covington had a good success with Usman with his striking was because Usman didn't really want to grapple with him too much, but Usman knew quite comfortably that he could clinch Masvidal and tie him up. It was like he did in the first fight. In the second fight, it was like he was confident and comfortable with Masvidal's timing and wanted to test his own striking. And as we know, Usman's striking has gotten better and better over the years, much more dangerous. Covington, I'm not saying his striking isn't as effective as Masvidal's in the right fight, because of course it is. You know, you can windmill your arms at somebody, and if they're not blocking, then you're going to catch them. You know, you don't have to have the prettiest technique to be effective. Wanderlei Silva is one of my best examples. He's probably one of the most effective strikers over the history of mixed martial arts, but by far one of the least pretty strikers. You know, even his pad work looked crazy and a bit chaotic. There is a benefit to that, of course, but Masvidal's polished striking comes with years of knowledge and awareness of striking, years of testing and trying things. Although they might be as competitive with one another in the striking range, the calculations that are going on in Masvidal's head regarding striking are on a different level to Colby's. It goes the same, though, for Colby when it hits the floor. Masvidal will definitely be a step or two behind him because Covington's got years and years of experience on the mats, breaking people down. It's a big part of his game. You know, look what he did to Tyron Woodley. He broke him down, he pressured him, and, you know, there was the rib injury, which, you know, wouldn't have happened if Tyron Woodley was sat on his sofa that night. You know, that rib injury was caused by the pressure that he was under, the damage that he was taking, the punches that he was taking from Colby. With Masvidal's style, the way that he kind of picks and plays with his opponent is one of the reasons why he's able to catch them in the later rounds with something that finishes the fight. Because every time he feints or he throws something out there, he's making a log in his brain of their reactions. You know, if I throw this hand out there, he reaches forward with his hands, so I'll come over the top. Or, you know, when he throws his kick, he's kind of lazy with it, with his chin, so I can catch his kick and swing a left right hook over the top, like he did against Cowboy, like he did against Till in the early rounds. You know, he's able to kind of take in the information that he's getting every time his opponent moves, every time they do something. It's like this subconscious calculation that's always going on in the back of his head. That's the bit I don't feel like Colby's got. He has an overall calculation of MMA, but that specific striking calculation, I think, is more on Jorge's favor. On the other side, you've got Colby, who has a much more of a calculated approach to breaking someone down, because that's what he does. Masvidal's game in the grappling range is to stop that happening, to kind of reverse engineer it. You know, one of my favorite performances for Masvidal when it comes to takedown defense is Rustam Habilov, and it's convenient that that's around the same time that Covington was in Masvidal's camp, because there would have been so many training sessions where Covington was being Rustam Habilov, chasing his back, trying to take him down, trying to control him, and Masvidal was constantly scrambling out of those positions. So he's had real life preparation to face Covington. Works the opposite way though. Covington's had real life experience trying to deal with Masvidal. This is very much for me a fight of two halves, and not if it's striking, it's clear cut for Masvidal, and if it's grappling, it's clear cut for Colby. But clear where they have the technical and the fundamental advantages in their skill set. Colby's definitely going to be a better wrestler overall than Masvidal. Masvidal overall is going to be a better striker than Colby Covington. But what we're trying to figure out here between the two is which one is the best MMA fighter, and that requires all assets to be taken into account. Which is why I think everybody's leaning towards Colby, because the swing vote for where the fight goes in mixed martial arts is the wrestling, which is what Colby should be controlling with his skill set. When it hits the floor, it's not quite as straightforward, because Masvidal will always still be looking to damage. We know he's got submissions on his record, although it's not his preference. I very much feel like Masvidal will be trying to hold and release and trying to tie Covington up if he hits the floor, and then as soon as this space, he'll be frantically trying to fight to get that space and get back to his feet. He'll want to be on his feet for this fight. He's not going to want to be tangled up and wasting cardiovascular energy and time grappling with Covington. but he's also going to be aware that he's probably going to have to if he's getting the better of him in the striking ranges. This is a coin toss fight. It's one of the most interesting fights in mixed martial arts right now that could be made because of the needle, the dislike between the two of them, and also the fact that they're training partners, they're former training partners and teammates, makes it even more interesting.